Welcome to the Chill Zone.
Help us celebrate you.
On the Chill Zone.
If you're actually just joining us right here, right now, 10 minutes down the hour, this is the Chill Zone. We are on 3 p.m. It's Monday. God, I hate Mondays. But I'm still joined by the finest in the house. Majula join us this afternoon as well, right here, right now. But we have a chill mate, Mr. Jarju, one of the finest. If you don't know, now you know. We'll be talking a little bit about him, his career, his aspirations, some of the things that he's been working on, some of the projects that he's been working on. Looking forward to 2019 eventually with him. You know, how's family life treating him equally? What are some of the Gambian stories that eventually, if he could turn them into movies, what are some of those stories that he will eventually turn into movies? You could send us a text message or call us on 1076 right here, right now. How is the heat treating you, ladies and gentlemen? It is hot, bro. No, they gave it a tanga. But yes, good afternoon to you, Oz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Danny. Good afternoon.
How's it
Live,
going?
Gambia's own, Chill Zone.
How's it going?
Pretty good, everything.
So, could I be like the semester? When I want the semester. When I want his shift or his term as semester is over.
Well, semester 2 weeks, like after the like it's all done. Monkey boy, like, almost what, 4 months or something?
So Majula, what's
and I've never been, even for the 2 weeks, boy, man, hi. I and kak boy.
Majula, what's the time frame for a semester? What would you consider someone that's a semester? I mean, after 2 weeks, semester Jenna, or as long as they're here, until
I will tell you.
Wow.
If you start driving without complaining.
Wow.
If you can maneuver the traffic without complaining.
Wow.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Let me hear from Majula. What do you think?
Monday for now, I'm on time frame. I think as long as you're here and you're still planning to go back.
You're no semester guy. Someone actually agrees with me.
There's a conditionality to it. If you planning to go, I'm not planning, Marjorie.
Okay, I can agree.
He's definitely going back. But just to start off, I asked this question a few minutes ago. The question was, a gentleman needs help. So he's asking, with Ramadan coming through, his wife wants $20,000. His mother wants $10,000.
Wow.
This gentleman has $20,000 to give. Now, who does he give the money to?
Give the wife 30,000.
No.
He's
got 20,000.
He has 20,000 to give.
No, what I'm saying.
But his wife has asked for 20,000.
No, what I'm
his
saying.
mother has asked for 10. Now, as a married man, what do you do here in this situation?
What I'm saying is, let him take the 10 that he was supposed to give to his mom.
He wasn't supposed to give anyone money. He wasn't giving the wife money. He wasn't giving the mother money. But two of these women asked him for money. And he only has 20.
The wife should be given the 20 that she wants.
So what about your money?
The mom, nothing.
So what
Nothing
about your
is
mom?
left, absolutely.
So if your wife Jama today asks for 20,000,
he will figure that out.
Your mom wants 10. You will give Jama the 20 and tell your wife to go and tell your mother to go and eat sand. Because what do you want me to say?
What I know is my wife will have the 20. That much I know.
Okay.
So you're going to disrespect your mother?
There's no disrespect in that. I'll deal with my mom. I'll work with her.
Okay. So Majula, just if you were married now and you ask your husband for 20,000 and he gives his mom 10,000 and come and tells you stories now like this, how are you going to feel?
I'll feel as if he's taking his mom more important than I am.
See.
You know,
Okay. So,
sidelining the fact that I am the mother of his babies, and then I actually have a very important need for that money that I'm asking for. I mean, probably, what could the mom need that money for? If not,
Good
just
question.
spend it uselessly.
Legitimate question.
just
But on the real
Yeah.
though, like let's look at it this way. In reality, when you have your mom ask you for something and your wife ask you for something and you don't have enough for both of them, it could be a tricky situation, to be honest. But here is what you need to look at. You have a responsibility to your wife. You do have a responsibility to your mom as well. Okay? But your wife, your mom, everything has to be within reasonable limits.
True.
So as a man, you should be able to negotiate your way through that. You know, thank goodness you already have 20,000 in your hands.
Yes.
Okay, so hey, maybe somebody gets 15, the other one gets 5, or maybe both of them get 10 or something. You have to be able to negotiate your way through it without, like you said, disrespecting anybody or making anybody feel less loved. You know what I mean?
Well, you have had a chance to taste, both worlds. I mean, when I speak of both worlds in terms of being in Africa, being born and bred in Africa, and basically growing up equally here, but also experiencing life and education opportunities on another, on another sphere, basically on another side of Africa as well, or outside Africa. What exactly would you say is a distinction here? What exactly is? I mean, we know that what's on TV is not really real. Do you understand? It's not really real. I mean, it's more of the work that you do. That's cinematography and that sort of thing.
Right.
But what would you say is a difference between these two? I mean, the two continents. I mean, the Americas and Africa.
I think there's a lot of differences, to be honest, and I don't even think I'm the right person to tell you exactly what is the difference. But I'll attempt. Let me tell you a story. The first time I went to New York, this is in 2006. That's probably a long time. Get out of here. Some guy came. It's actually Singate's in-law. Freaky Joe's in-law. He picked me up from the airport, and as he was driving through the streets of New York, and sometimes the car gets into like what seem like potholes. Boom, bro. Like the disappointment because seriously,
where my estates, what I mean,
there you go.
Exactly.
Because in my mind, this is supposed to be that Hollywood smoothness that I saw forever, and all of a sudden this car was getting into potholes. I raised my head, looked at buildings, and I can see busted windows and dirty windows and dusty windows. I'm like, and all of a sudden you see a rat run across the train station and all. You see these things live. So I'm like, really, this is it? But when you're here and you don't know. But for me, some of the important differences, I think, especially with Americans, is work ethic. Their work ethic generally is really good. People are at their workstations on time. They are dedicated to the kind of work that they are doing. When they're supposed to serve you, they serve you like you are the only individual alive at this moment that they are serving you. Not because they want anything from you, not because they're trying to get a bribe from you or anything, but they are aware that they are serving at that moment, and they serve you 100% wholly. You call customer care, and if you are not careful, you will think the girl that you are speaking to actually
she's into you, and that's the thing.
Yes.
Hey, what do I want to do? Some more on cheese.
Exactly. But then you gotta get comfortable. Comfortable. They want you to be comfortable. That's how people do work there. Unlike here,
I know.
Exactly.
Okay.
You go into a place.
I think those are very vivid illustrations that you just mentioned. But in terms of your work as a cinematographer, that I will call, but how exactly has that really helped? I mean, I know you're still in the process of having yourself well established in the business, studying here, and also just finalizing minor projects and stuff. But how has it been so far?
It is not exactly where we want it to be, like you noted, but the journey is interesting. The journey is profound. Every day is different, and that's what I like about it. Every challenge, every project comes with its own challenges, and that is very, very interesting for me. Over the years I've had the privilege of learning from people that I work with back in the US. One like Bradley, an amazing cinematographer. I learned so much working with him, and yeah, basically, that's that.
Now, in terms of music videos, you had the chance to also work on a few music videos here before you left, and I mean, and looking at the recent quality and content given, visual content given by the recent cinematographers and video makers in the Gambia. Now, what exactly has grown? What has changed in terms of the concept, in terms of the content as well?
I would say we've come really, really far. I remember years ago when we started Fila, we had to insist that we would only play good, you can see my language. Good videos. Only good videos. And we insisted. There were a lot of other videos that we never played because we think the quality wasn't good enough for Fila. Even though then everybody was shooting on SD and mini DV, that's the quality that was here. But then, we were looking at story, imagery and all that. And guess what? Because we insisted and everybody wanted their video on Fila, we started noticing a lot of changes in the video industry, in the video making industry. People like Ife were coming up, they were doing amazing video. Abbas Artistic, was doing really, really good videos then too. My people, Mediamatic, and a couple of others. But then essentially what happened was everybody just started pushing. And I believe that is what laid the foundation to what we have today. But what we have today is really, really great. Even though I wish we had more videographers, cinematographers who were doing it. But in my observation, really, I see a very few of the cinematographers who
are actually telling a story with their video.
Telling a story, who are actually pushing, who actually care about the kind of imagery that they put out there.
Okay. Now, do you feel indifferent about the nakedness in videos? Or do you think it's just? I mean, that's trending. It's with the age. You don't really have a say.
No, I mean, for me,
let everyone just do whatever they want to do.
For me, to be honest,
yes, how do you feel about that? And I think Majula should also say something.
For me, Danny, to be honest, I am entirely committed to the art.
Yes.
Okay, and nudity can be very beautiful art.
Okay.
Now, if you do it in a fashion that is just to I'm trying to be careful of my words here. In a way that is just promiscuous. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That is different. But if it is purely for art, if it is a way to learn about the human body, if it is a way that
it's
you
like
can
pop FLE class.
Yeah, if it is a way that you can express the human sensuality through nudity, for me that is art and it's beautiful.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Except, but what do you think, Majula, in terms of nudity in music videos? Do you, as a young lady, or you as a lady, do you find it offensive?
Let's say we're in an African society, and if you want to be honest, you'll be seen as someone unnormal, not normal. So, but to be honest, I mean, it's just the art.
Okay, it's just art.
Yes, as I said, there are a lot of art paintings that are in nude themes, and then they sell more.
Right.
Yeah, in the Western world or somewhere else apart from Gambia. But here in the country, you don't expect to sell something like that, and then it will be bought or appreciated. So that's the problem. That is why, I mean, if we are to criticize the nudity in videos or photography, we're more or less attaching it with religion and piousness and so on. So
and if I may add to that just quickly, you can see the double standards and the hypocrisy in
I like that word
in our people. No, seriously.
Yes.
Like Beyonce and Rihanna and Nicki Minaj will do their thing and we'll bump it. We'll be happy. We'll be excited.
Vibes Cartel and the others.
Vibes Cartel, they do all of that, and then nobody says anything. But the moment a Gambian does it, it is great. It is a problem. Sorry, unless it is Ariero Finjanyabang.
Yes.
No, because that was on.
Yeah,
And
yes,
everybody was.
yes.
Everybody vibed to that. Ariel of
Yeah.
Finjanya, but they have like people shaking.
No.
Yes, and nobody said.
Ooh,
I remember
yes.
there was this kid. The same time, there was this kid in Banjul. Melody something. He did a video.
Melody M.
Melody M.
Yes.
He did a video and he had some dancers, of course, doing all those twerking and all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
And his video was banned from playing on GRTS. And during that same period, they had the Ariero Finjanya Bank playing. So what are we talking about?
I know.
You know?
That definitely makes no sense. We are joined right here with Mr. Jarju, pretty much a cinematographer. What genre of Gambian music are you into? I mean, dancehall, Afro fusion, or maybe hip hop? What are you looking at?
Like
Rap, mbala.
and this is this.
Let's just say Afro fusion, basically.
You're talking about Gambian music?
Yes, Gambia.
Ah man, when I listen to Gambian music though, I listen to the the whole
Yes.
thing. I'm listening to the art of it.
Okay.
I try to imagine how this song was built. The placement of the lyrics. The whole thing. I just
Yep.
I
Basically, the
don't.
technicalities
Yes,
of the
that's
song.
what I look at when it
Right.
comes to Gambian music. But the kind of music that I personally in my little corner
Yeah.
enjoy is reggae. To be honest. Yes.
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured. Then you must have listened to Rare Messenger's album, of course.
Yes.
Beautiful. I'm gonna ask you this critical question because the last time we had a gentleman come on the show, and he mentioned that was Daba, and he mentioned that he doesn't believe in the. He doesn't believe that the approach given to the Techie Fee campaign is going to work.
Right.
Because apart from the fact that there needs to be structure put in place in making sure that the hashtag is sustainable. Right. It's not just having a hashtag. It's not just about creating campaigns. It's about making sure that these campaigns create a lasting impact. Now, if you want to give us, the young people, the idea that we can make it here, there needs to be, we need to see that the government or private sectors or all the other parastatal are making sure that there is a change. So eventually young people will see that change and want to stay in Gambia to make it here. But at the end of the day, we're going to be having this campaign and something else is going to happen and we'll forget about that. Gambia, we're all about trends. Now we're at TRRC and tomorrow we'll be talking about something else. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. So the hashtag TechieFee doesn't really look like eventually it's going to work for young people because the structures are not the platforms for things to be sustainable are not in place. Do you think that way?
It's a tricky question.
Okay.
So I'll just say yes or no to it. But here's my take about that. I think the reasons people leave this country, seeking greener pasture, the reason why people do that are multifaceted, and a single solution wouldn't be a solution at all.
Okay.
We have to approach it from different angles because people leave for really different reasons.
True.
Some just want to go out there and look for money. Whether they will get the money or not is another question.
Yeah, but it's all about going out.
But they will go out.
Yeah.
Some want to go because they have a friend there, a youth that they were around and they were chilling together, and all of a sudden that guy sends a car or builds a mansion for their mother or whatever.
Yes.
Some go for some other reasons, education and all that. So, in order for us to mitigate that help people to stay in this country, really, we must have to look at our country. We must have to look at our own people and see what we can do to build ourselves and build our country in ways that are going to be sustainable. And when we talk about build, we try to measure development by the amount of mortar and concrete that we are able to put together. For me, that is not it. Sometimes the way for us to build is to destroy. It's for us to just dismantle a certain system, a certain concept. If you look at Ghana, most of the times we build things and then everything starts to retrogress because we failed to build the minds of our people. We failed to build the hearts of our people. And that is why our buildings are not sustainable. The things that we try to set up are not sustainable. We should start by dismantling the concept and the understanding of our people. Then whatever we build would be sustainable.
Marjorie, what do you think?
Well, the tech fee thing could actually be a real thing, but I think the problem with us is when X decides to do this, and then maybe X is successful in that, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, and E also want to do that same thing, so that they could be successful. I mean, I think, for instance, when this photography business started, everybody started being professional photographers. Restaurants are opening here and there. The people in the Gambia have to be innovative. They have to, learn to create new things of their own, and then make it a huge business. And also we don't believe in partnership, in partnering. We want to do things individually. We want to earn our own money and spend it anyhow. We don't know that there is benefits in partnering, business partner. I mean, that's the angle we have to also look at when we're talking about tech fee.
I look at I think, apart from, I mean, the angles you both are coming from, it's very important. It's mostly just about the sustainability of everything. How do you benefit from it on the long run? I think it's only in Gambia that you find restaurants next to each other, or supermarkets next to each other. Anywhere else, a restaurant is going to be here before you. I mean, you have at least a block or two before you find the next one, or probably the same thing with gas stations and that sort of thing. So most of it is basically just structuring and allowing ourselves to think outside the box in terms of innovation and whatever it is. But it's more of self, basically. It's more looking at what is going to work for us. Because
I think a few people, they might succeed with one or two or three or so, but tech in itself is not a solution.
Sure,
it's not.
It's definitely not. But you've been working on a project. You've been working on a short film. Right. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm still working. I mean, now we are in post production, and working on a short movie. It's called A Mother's Plea. About running time is about 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
And it's been a very interesting journey during the production. My wife actually wrote this story a long time ago, even before we met. I read the story from her blog, and I thought, ooh, this could be a movie. So I wrote it into a screenplay. Contacted a couple of people here, and STS wanted to jump on it, and came with the right attitude and everything, and we collaborated and did it.
So is it one of the advocacy films? Like, I mean, we know your wife is an advocate, so or a feminist sort, whatnot. But is that the direction the short film is going into as well?
I mean, it depends on how you say it, but it is which my personal belief is that's what movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to tell us something that could affect the way we think, or make us see another perspective through a certain phenomenon.
True, like Game of Thrones, though.
There you go. Yes, yeah. So essentially, that's what the movie is about. It sheds light on early marriage, and the challenges that a young female could go through in terms of the challenge between wanting to seek education and marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful, definitely. But if you're meant to choose Nollywood or Bollywood, which would you go for? Chumachale, and then you're gonna end it.
Man, where they suffer.
So, if you're meant to choose between Bollywood, or Nollywood,
but here's the thing. I think they are all amazing. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. When I was younger, I watched a lot of Indian movies. I watched a lot of Bollywood. In fact, at some point, I thought I could do some Mere Pyar Hai Sandage and all that. You know what? And also like in just life after high school, I also, I was with a girl who watches a lot of those, so I used to also.
Ralph, let me tell you. Our women are all into that. So sometimes you go about your day just humming a particular song, and then you're like, wait, where did I get this from?
So in essence, I got to learn a lot from these two industries as well. You know what I mean? Okay. And lately, I think Nollywood is doing some really clean work. Honestly, it's not a mass, but you can see a few really nice one. Like Lionheart.
Yes, Lionheart, Genevieve.
Yes. I watched it and I was blown away by the sound. The sound quality.
Beautiful sound quality. It's amazing.
Yes. So
and the hype that Chief Daddy had. Yeah. And so when it came on Netflix and we watched it and we was like, I think the story is amazing. The cast that they put up, but something was just wrong. The quality of sound was distorted at some certain point. Even the lighting wasn't really matching the entire movie, and there were some scenes that really did not make sense and that sort of thing. So there's I think in a sort they are at a point where they need to keep standards
and get it right.
And either get it right or just stay back with Mr. Ibu in the village, and Akian Popo, and let's just go back there. So it's either you go further or you just don't do anything at all. Right. But in terms of cinematography, in terms of shooting movies, Gambian stories, just sarcastically, if you were to make a story, right? If you were to shoot a story in Gambia on current happenings, current happenings, which of the current happenings would you get into? Would you actually make a movie out of?
The political impasse.
Yeah.
I think would be interesting. And you know what scene would be interesting? Imagine
refugees.
But then imagine somebody reading a note, trying to rebuff something and then shaking. That would be a beautiful scene. I think. You know what I mean?
I know. My people.
But a story I would like to do is Jawara's childhood.
Oh.
Sadawada Jawara, as entailed in his book. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. And then part of our history as a people, as a country, is embedded in it. I think might be really beautiful for the film.
Okay. On 1076 right here, we have Mr. Jarju joining us this afternoon. 46 minutes down the hour right here. It is 3 p.m. Oh, so you had a moment. You had a music career moment. Let me just put it there. Hey, no, we all did, bro. Hey, we need time. We must wake up like. Hey, if I get a time my and a new era. I did a song with. So this is how crazy I am.
But you sing good though.
So I did a song and we never. I was in a group where we never rehearsed. Yeah. So they were called, and I was in a group where I did not even know I was part of the group. We went to the studio one day and we sat down and we just chilling, and then there was a beat, and I freestyled, and they said, "Oh yo, boy, they got on it." Before I knew what happened, they said, "When you get performance, away with it." I'm like, "What?" And I come on and say, because it was a freestyle, I couldn't even remember my words. So I get on stage and I'll just lip sync and I'll just give the mic to the audience. And it's like, "Yo, keep just saying that for me." But what happened to your music career?
I've never had a music career, Danny.
No. Why media matic boy?
Boy, I'm master.
Was the final the way and too.
Of course.
They been the table, the door table, like noise. You know those time in school. You know, time, boy. And you end up not even being a singer.
I always like to sing. Okay. You know what I mean? I always like to sing. I guess that's the energy that I kind of transform into acting and doing all this stuff and helping musicians here and there. I work with Singate, of course.
True.
Did things. So I guess no longer. Man personally, my music career, boy. I like to sing. I will sing, and all. But that's about that.
So funny, Majula. This is a fun fact. So Ous was the one that shot the first music video I was in, though. I remember it was a song for Singate. and
Singate Rice remix.
Singate, yes,
The remix, yeah.
Singate Rice, the remix. So he was shooting the video. That one, so I saw the video. How was shock it? My son glove like
right.
I think even our shirt size was the same at the time.
Yeah.
Time was don't go to them gym like.
You're right.
But it was. I mean, it's been amazing watching your growth over the years. But how is marriage life treating you?
Marriage is beautiful.
Is that what if someone was meant to ask you that question? How is marriage life? How would you say, or what would you say?
I think it's you have to be mentally prepared for it.
Okay.
You have to understand that it is a commitment that requires you to be you in the sense that you have to be true to that commitment, and if you and the person that you are with understand each other, understand it like that, I think it would move forward. Truth is it's not always rosy, but guess what? It's not meant to be rosy all the time. You know what I mean? But the beauty of any relationship is the understanding that there are ups and downs to it. When there are the ups, you jump on the moment, make it worth the while. You know what I mean? When there are the downs, you understand that regardless of what is going on right now, this is somebody that I adore, this is somebody that I love, this is somebody that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Now,
so it's not about the person.
So
it's about
key word there, spending the rest of your life with.
Yes.
All our brothers that are cashing wives now because of Ramadan, and after Ramadan
is not forever.
You see what I'm saying? So after, like I said, after Ramadan, their priorities change,
right?
And then they decide that they want to go and try elsewhere.
Right.
Now, how does that make it seem? Now, would you say it's also beneficial for women or for the ladies? Because at the end of the day, if you find fault in a man, do you just have to move on?
I don't know, man. It depends on how perspective, man. It depends on how you see it, how people see these things. But for me, the way that I see it, I don't see like a going back or a moving on. I don't even see that. I don't see, oh, okay, I can't do this anymore. Oh shit. Oh, so excuse my language.
It's okay.
Or saying I'm moving on. I don't see that.
Okay.
What I see is I'm in this. Good or bad, I'm gonna make it good.
Okay.
And be in it, and be as true as I possibly can be in it.
Now the approach that we have been given as a new generation is the fact that, because we as young people learn from our elders. And there's the approach that yes, you are into marriage, or you're getting married, or you are married, but necessarily doesn't mean you are, as a man, stopped from certain things, because your wife has been programmed that your husband is flawed, and eventually he is going to make mistakes. He is going to get a second wife, he's going to get a third wife, he's going to get a mistress, he's probably going to even get someone out there pregnant, and they just fine with that. Right. Now, you as a 21st century man with a very, open-minded wife.
You would like to think so.
But what would you say about that? Because when someone is getting married, especially young ones, the wife is sat down and they're given
all the lectures
talk.
To the wife, yeah.
But the boys, the men, are not done. That doesn't happen to them.
Yeah. I think that is a conditioning that we have been through for a as a people for a very long time. When there is going to be a wedding, at weddings and marriage ceremonies, all you see is the woman being sat down and people talking, so nanga definitely, and the boy, nobody asks anything of them. People are very much interested about the woman's virginity, but nobody cares if the man has been anywhere before. True. So these double standards are things that we really need to look at as a people. I think if the women are so mistrusting of men today, and you can't really blame them much.
Of course not.
You know, you look around and their fears is what's been manifested around us every day, by me, by you, by someone else. You know what I mean? So
Now, would you take a second wife?
oh no,
I mean, you're like the first person I just directly said.
no.
Hanga man Juliet la boy. So hanga man Juliet la. So I'm entitled to that. Now that is the catchphrase for every cheat out there.
Oh, boy.
I guess man Juliet la boy. I can take.
Juliet la.
So
But no, come on, man.
would you say that equally as for yourself? I mean, yeah, man Juliet la. But would you further put consideration into that?
Here's the thing. I don't
Okay.
have a problem with somebody that weighs in and decide this is the path I want to
Okay.
go, the path of polygamy. Well and good,
Good for you,
If it
though.
rocks your boat, well and good.
Wow.
But it doesn't rock mine.
Okay.
It doesn't work for me. It's not gonna work for me.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Social media, how's they treating you?
So-
How's social media treating you, though?
I'm not a big one on social media. Really, I'm not a big one. I'm not.
Okay.
I've not been on Facebook since 2011.
Wow.
I don't even know how to use it now. I have an Instagram, and it's basically my art on it.
Yes, yeah.
I have a Twitter which has been suspended now.
Ah, man.
I have never used what's the other one that people do videos.
Snapchat,
I have
yeah.
no idea how it is done. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to try it, man.
You definitely need to.
especially
You definitely
when
need to
I-
try
when
some
I claim
some
to
of
be I'm
those.
in the media and all. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. You definitely
Yeah,
should.
yeah. But my wife is like,
Yeah, she's all in tuned.
yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
very,
good. I mean,
very,
someone has to do it for us.
Well, yeah.
Like, someone has to do it for us.
She actually opened up a Facebook business
Mm-hmm.
page for me and all that. So,
And you're like,
Yeah.
what is what is this?
well, that's good.
But yes, just before we leave, Major, do you have any question you want to ask Mr. Jarju?
Yes, you were talking about a movie about teenage pregnancy, is it?
Early marriage, yeah.
Early marriage, okay. So how is the characterization going to be? Is it like you're going to involve international actors and actresses, or it's just Gambian-based actors?
We filmed already. We're done filming, and it was entirely a Gambian cast.
Okay.
Yeah, it was entirely a Gambian cast. And Mariama Colley was the production manager, and she was amazing. She helped most of the characterizations. She kind of recommended people that I got to meet, and work with. It was a beautiful affair. I got to learn a lot, and I think they were also able to learn one or two things from me. So I appreciate everybody that showed up and became a part of that process for me, part of that journey for me. Hopefully the movie will be out somewhere around end of this year or early next year.
Beautiful.
We're hoping, yeah. But we are very, very happy with what we did thus far, and we are now working on the sound and
Okay, giving him the quality that he deserves.
Yes.
Okay, before we get to leave, we really want to appreciate your presence on the show. We hope that we didn't bore you, because I mean, we're like, oh my God, what's going on? It's basically the chill zone, because we try as much as possible to just not give it that formal format, and to just talk about different issues. But if you were meant to recommend someone to come on the show,
right,
who would that be?
Nurusi.
Who's that?
He works with the Peace Corps, but amazing guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has a master's in social work and all that. He experienced this country back and inside out.
Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
So we'll definitely get Mr. Nurusi on the show. But to you that's been watching, and to you that's going to watch, to you that is listening to us at this
SDS,
point,
I'm not sure if you had him here. But
I think I had SDS, but I'm not sure. I think I should have
you should have him again. Yes,
I should have STS again.
He did
But
a lot of good work. Yeah.
good. He's definitely doing a lot of good work.
Yes.
But who would you give a shout out to at this point?
I'll give a shout out to my wife, the beautiful and elegant Jama Jack, and a shout out to my family. A shout out to you. Shout out to Ron Haruna Drum.
Yes, Haruna Drum. I should get Haruna Drum.
You should. You never did?
No, I haven't.
Oh man,
I haven't
shout out to
had a
Flex,
sit down.
STS.
Pamanjay sa warna
Mariama
ko.
Colley.
He's like, boy, hey, you're learning my interview.
Then go I'm not boy. He's
Pamanjay warna. I should get a sit down with him though.
man,
It should be fun.
He's got just some good
Okay,
things to
good.
share, yeah.
Do you want to read that?
Yes, we have Hi, big man. How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's Omasise Sincho Alaji. Not forgetting my hardest man, Samuso. Can you please play one of our songs?
What's
My
that?
Heart Once Again.
Hey, Mansa Muso. I don't think I have that on the playlist. But to Fatuba behind the camera, thank you so much to AfriSoul, Afro Radio for creating this platform for us, for Oz for coming here this afternoon to inspiring us and talking to us about your journey. We are deeply, deeply honored. Deeply honored.
Thank you for having me. It's been very chilling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a nice day. God bless.
Yes.
Welcome to the Chill Zone.
Help us celebrate you.
On the Chill Zone.